And I remember when you used to play hide and go seek, if you were the person that was the seeker, you would have a certain number you had to count to. And as you counted to the number, everybody else was running around looking for a spot to hide. And as the seeker got closer to that number that y'all picked, the person hiding knew that his time was getting short. Once the seeker got to the point to hit that number, the first thing he would say is, ready or not, here I come. So the thing about that is gave you a warning.
That's right.
It let you understand, hey, if I'm not in a spot that I need to be in, I need to change it because he's close to that number. Now, as Christians, we have a problem.
Well,
Sometimes we like to take shortcuts.
well now.
When I was little, once again, I used to stay at the bottom of the street. School I went to was at the top of the hill. And the street basically would wrap around. And if you would walk the street, you would basically go around, you would do a block. But you would slowly get to our house. But that was too long.
Well, okay.
I mean, it was a hill. And if I just climb up that hill, I'd be at school. And so as a kid, I would go up that hill, and I would be at school, and then I would come down the hill, and I'd be home. I didn't think about who yard I was going in. I didn't think about if I misstep and fell and hurt myself. I just wanted to get there as quick as possible.
Well, okay.
And so, as Christians, sometimes we do that ourselves. When you think about Sarah and Abram, God had told them, I'm going to bless you with something. I'm going to give you a child. He didn't give them a time frame. He just told them, I'm going to bless you with something. That was the problem. Time started passing and that blessing hadn't came. And so what they decided to do is they help God out.
Well,
Because apparently he needed help.
okay.
And so they gave a maidservant for Abram to use to get his blessing from God. Now that ain't what God said. That ain't. And so God can't bless nothing that he didn't send through. So they end up having to wait even longer to get the blessing that God had promised them. Because it had to come at the right time. So I say I got a few kids in here. This is a story that some of y'all can relate to. We're going to call it the Three Little Pigs. As Christians, sometimes we act like the Three Little Pigs, y'all. The story goes, the mama pig had 3 little pigs, and they were ready to go out in the world. And so she sent them out so they could make their fortune or so they could live their life or whichever story you pick. But basically, she sent them out prepared and ready to make a living for themselves. Okay. Now, there was a problem because at the point that they left out, apparently they must knew how to build something. Because at no time did they take a class on how to build anything or did they have to hire anybody to help them. Am I correct? So, as they were going to get the materials needed to build, the first pig ran into some cat with some sticks.
Well,
Now, Mama has already told you what you needed to do the job right. But because it's the shortest and easiest thing he can do, he went ahead and decided to build his house out of sticks. I mean, out of straw. So they keep going, and the second pig does the same thing. He builds his house out of stick. But the third pig, apparently he must have understood that eventually storms do come in our life. And so he decided, I'm going to get something sturdy. I'm going to get something that can hold and resist the storm. I'm going to get some brick. Even though it takes me a little longer to build this house, at least I know it's sturdy.
that's right.
And y'all like, that don't sound like the Bible. Like, I don't remember that in Scripture. Well, let's actually go to and he spoke, this is Matthew 13, many of these parables, saying, Behold, the sower went out and sowed. And he sowed seeds that fell upon the road, and the birds came and ate them up. That's those people that don't know the Lord.
Yes, sir.
So that ain't us. We're good. We know the Lord, right? We done all hopefully gave our life over to Christ. Others fell upon rocky places where they did not have much soil, and immediately they sprang up. But because there was no depth, because they didn't have no soil to root in, when the sun came, it scorched them. And because they had no roots, they withered away. That was the problem with the first two pigs. They were so quickly in such a hurry to get done so they can sit back and relax that they didn't take their time and do it right. We fall into this, and the danger is you think you're doing God's will, but you're just doing it a little faster than everybody else. You're taking that shortcut.
Yes, sir.
And actually you end up hurting yourself. The other one, the other fell among the thorns. And the thorns came up and choked them out. See, this is the beautiful part. This is those people that know the word. Know the word, but the world just seems to get a hold of it. And it seems to pull you into things that you shouldn't be doing. But the third pig, I did say, understood that he needed a house out of brick. And so the third pig didn't get caught up in what his brothers were doing. Because I'm sitting here walking, we leave mama's house, my first brother runs, he grabs some straw. What are you doing? That's fine, that's fine. I said, there's still two of us. The second one go grab some sticks. And I'm like, no, what are y'all doing? You know what mama's taught us. You know what's in us. But yet you're taking that shortcut, the quickest thing you can. Well, there was a problem. Because there was a wolf out there. And the wolf came knocking. And the wolf came to that first house, made out of straw. And he said, I'm a huff, I'm going to puff, and I'm going to blow your house down. When the wolf comes in our life, that's when you start thinking back on the choices and decisions that you made. I guarantee you that first pig thought, I built my house out of straw. Why did I not take the time to actually do it right? And so he paid the price. The same thing with the second pig. I built it out of sticks. I might have been as shabby as my other brother, but hey, I got a chance to just relax and enjoy myself. But still, because I didn't do what the Lord intended, and I tried to take a shortcut, I still paid for it in the end. But that third pig that actually took the time and then tried to do a shortcut, once the wolf actually came, once the storms in your life come up, they were there.
Yes, sir.
They were at the door. But because he did what God intended for him to do, it didn't have the same effect on him as it did on the other two. So, like I say, the first thing, we like to take shortcuts. But I did say it was ready or not, here I come, right? So in Luke 12, verses 35 through 40, it reads, Be dressed in readiness, and keep your lamps lit. Be like men who are waiting for their masters when he returns from a wedding feast, so that they may immediately open the door to him when he comes knocking. I remember my mom used to work at A&P when I was a kid. And I knew what time she got off. And when we got close to that time, I would go in that window and wait for her. And I would look out the window until she pulled up. And that's what you got here. You got a servant who appreciates his master and look forward to actually seeing his master. So when the master actually comes up, he ain't got, who is it? I've been looking for you. How you doing? I've been waiting for you. That's how we need to be with God. We don't need to sit there and have him, come on, open it. It's God. I'm trying to bless you. What we need to do is be looking for him. And so, right here, once again, reflect on my kids. You have 5 days, we call this the weekdays. You have 2 days, we call the weekend.
Yes, sir.
For some reason, I'm talking about you. Somebody in my family, during the weekdays, they have trouble getting up. I can't wait. That's like, it's like, come on, y'all gotta get up, come on. You got school, come on. Your sister did the same thing. But 5 days we have trouble. I did say the weekend consists of 2 days, right?
Yes.
Let's not count Sunday, because Sunday we have trouble also. That one day, we're gonna call it Saturday. How about that?
Okay.
On Saturday, I get up. Sometimes I gotta go to work. I gotta be at the work at 6 o'clock. I get up, I'm getting ready, it's 5 o'clock. It's still dark outside. I'm like, man, let me go ahead and hold on. His lights on. You got the door closed, because he's trying to be quiet, but his lights on. And because he has an excitement for Saturday, he's been working hard these 5 days. On that Saturday, he's looking forward to it. So excited that he can't sleep. When I tell him to go back to sleep, he's sitting there tossing and turning because he's excited for the Saturday. That's how we gotta be. We're supposed to be excited for Christ. We should be running in here. We should be excited to be in the presence of God and not dragging in. Having to force ourselves to get up just to come and worship a God who's blessed you with everything.
Amen.
That don't add up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Like I said, when you think about the prodigal son, you think about the father. The prodigal son ran out and went buck wild.
Yep, he did.
Lost everything he had, lost his mind, tried to come back.
Yep.
He's going to come back to his father and try to be a servant. But his dad saw him from afar. And in order to see him from afar, that means he was looking for him. And that's the thing. God is looking for us. But okay. Verse 37 said, blessed are those slaves whose master will find on the alert when he comes. Truly I say to you, that he will gird himself to serve and will have them recline at the table and will come up and wait on them. Whether he comes in the second watch or even the third watch and find them, so blessed are those slaves. See, the thing about it, there's going to eventually come a time when we have to answer God.
That's right.
When Jesus comes back, and we ain't going to know. But it's saying here, we're supposed to be ready at all times. What happens if God comes back Saturday night at 12 o'clock?
Well,
Some of us are going to be in trouble. But the thing is, we need to live our life in anticipation that any moment it's going to be time to go home to glory.
that's right, amen.
So it says, but be sure for this, that if the head of the house had known at what hour the thief will come, he would not have allowed his house to be broken into.
Yes,
You too be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. If somebody came and told you, I'm going to break in your house today at 2 o'clock, I guarantee you at 1 o'clock the police will be sitting there with you.
That's right.
Or a gun. One of the But you will be prepared. You wouldn't be caught off guard. But I hate to tell you that we ain't going to have that alert. We ain't going to have that one. That's what this is right now. This is that, hey, maybe I need to get my house in order. Maybe I need to do some things to make sure that when he does come, I'm ready. All right. So Jesus is sitting there and he tells them this, and Peter is kind of confused. He's like, hold on, you're telling all of this, who are you talking to? And Peter says, Lord, are you addressing this parable to us or to everybody else as well? And the Lord said to him, who then is the faithful and sensible steward, whom his master will put in charge of his servants to give them their rations at the appropriate time? See, the thing is, we are that steward. God sees something in us to where he's like, I'm going to put you in a position to where you can do something for somebody else. Because I have enough faith and trust in you, I think that you will handle this job. So that's the thing. A lot of us get that mentality. We're thinking, why? Why me? Why do I got to go through this? Why do I have to have these struggles? Why do I have to come up and go through all of this? I'm tired of going through stuff. And you don't realize that God is just getting you ready for when that person that ain't strong enough needs you.
Amen.
But the problem is, if you sit and you hold on to your testimony,
Well,
who are you helping? God has sent you through all of these things. He's gotten you ready. He's putting that person in front of you, and you don't step out. It's people hurting, and all they need is a word. And we have that.
well,
But because we don't hear it. So Peter asked Jesus this. And he's asking him, who are you talking about? And Jesus says, blessed is that slave who when his master finds so doing what he's come, truly I say to you, they will be put in charge of many things. That when we think about the three with the talents, you had one with 5, one with 2, and one with 1. And the one with 5 talents multiplied before his master came back. The one with 2 did the same thing, but the one with the 1 was like, well, master, I know you're a ruthless person. I didn't want to mess up, so I just held on to what you gave me.
well,
And I didn't want to actually use what you gave me to do anything with it. I just wanted to give it back to you. And that's basically what we got to make sure we're not doing. But he says, blessed are those when I come back, I find you doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes, sir.
That should be exciting.
Yes, sir.
Because he's saying, hey, once you do what I ask you to do, I'm going to take care of you. Once you do what I ask you to do, even though people might not appreciate it, I do.
amen.
And that's what matters. So, but, there's always a but there. But if that slave says in his heart, my master will be a long time coming, and begins to beat the slaves, both men and women, and eat and drink and get drunk.
Well,
Once again, he's still talking to us. And he's saying, I put you over this. You're a steward. I put you in charge of things. I'm getting you ready to do something amazing. But when I give you the keys to the car, you run into the sidewalk. If we're going to ask God to take us to another level,
all right.
if we're going to ask God to do something amazing, we have to first handle what we have now.
That's right,
Yes, sir.
amen.
So, okay. So, the master of that slave will come on a day when he does not expect it, and at that hour he does not know, and will cut him into pieces, and assign him a place with the unbeliever. And the slaves who knew his master will and did not get it ready or act in accordance to his will receive many lashes. But the one who did not know it and committed deeds worthy of a flogging will receive but a few. See, the thing is, it's to be a Christian is kind of dangerous. Because we're supposed to be hot or cold. We don't need to be warm. We don't need to be in that center. So either you're on fire for Christ or you cold. You ain't a part of this. The problem is, as a Christian, when you sit and say, I'm a believer, when you sit in that chair, give your life over to Christ, you're saying, I'm about to work. That's what you're saying. You're saying that I'm about to do what your will, God. And the problem is, some of us don't want to do that. And he says, for those that don't know the word, for those that don't know nothing about God, you're going to be in trouble. But for those that do,
Yes, sir.
and ain't doing nothing with it, you're going to be in some serious trouble. So that's the thing. Once you come and give your life over, there's a requirement. We focus on eternity, but we have a requirement first. We're supposed to be working.
Say it, sir.
Amen.
So, okay. So, for everyone who has been given much, I'm giving you everything. Through Jesus, you have access to everything. You have access to a creator, through somebody who made heaven and earth. And he says, for everyone who I have given much, much is required. I still need you to do some things. There's still some people out there who's hurting. I need you to be willing to do that. And to whom they entrust much of him, they will ask all the more. See, the thing, God created you for greatness. The trials, the tribulations, the stuff you go through, it was handpicked just for you. And I know it don't feel like it, but it is tailored with your name on it. Have you ever stepped in a tailored suit? It fits you appropriately where it's supposed to.
Yes, sir.
That's what your trials and tribulations are. They're yours. And they're made to where you won't break or bend, but you will conquer. And once you conquer, then you have a testimony.
That's right. Amen.
Then you can do God's will. See, the thing about God, God put people in situations because he wants people to talk about stuff they know. If I talk to you about a subject that I have no knowledge on, you ain't going to believe it.
That's right.
But if I sit and tell you about some of the struggles that I've been through, it's personal.
That's right.
So, okay. To be ready to stand up. But see, there's a problem, though. There's a problem. I like to be buddy-buddy with everybody. I like to be cool with everybody at work. You know, we got people who are sitting there. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't. Verse 49, he says, I have come to cast fire upon the earth, and how I wish it was already kindled. But I have a baptism to undergo, and how distressed I am until it is accomplished. Do you suppose that I came to grant peace on earth? This is Jesus talking, y'all. He said, look, y'all think I came that everything can be happy? Y'all think I came that we can all have peace? He said, I tell you, no, but rather division. For from now on, 5 members in one household will be divided, 3 against 2. Hold on. I was talking about people out at work. I ain't talking about family. See, the thing about Christianity, if you start doing what God has called you to do, some people ain't gonna like you.
Yes,
You
sir.
ain't gonna be popular. You're not. You gonna stand out and stick out like a sore thumb. But God says, I didn't call you to be popular. Nor did I call you to be peaceful. I called you to be bold in the Lord. And there's a difference. Now, it says, they will be divided, father against son, son against father, mother against daughter, daughter against mother, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. When you think about light and darkness, they don't coexist. They actually are the opposite. And the thing is, God has called us to be light and to shine and to guide.
Yes.
And it's like, some of your friends, they're going to go away. For my kids, for my younger people, I went to college. Well, before I went to college, I was in high school. I had friends. We're going to be buddies forever. I got to college. I started getting older. I stopped doing some of the things that I was doing.
That's right. That's right.
And those friends, they fell off. And at first, I thought something was wrong. I was like, because I don't have the same set of friends I had back then. And then I had to realize God is starting to move me. And he's putting people around me to help me get to where I need to go.
Yes, right. That's right.
In order to get in shape, sometimes you got to shed off some weight. And it's just that simple. God has put some people in your life now to give you guidance. But some people you got in your life, they ain't God sent. The last thing we have to stand up for Christ. We have to be willing to stand strong on him.
Yes, sir.
And it says, no one knows the day, no one knows the time that the Son of Man will return. But it's like, let's get our house in order. So that when he does come, we will be here, and we will hear him say, well done, my good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things, and now I'm going to put you rule over now.